Hey guys, this is Melody, and today we're here with an Inktober video. So as you can see, I went ahead and sketched out what I wanted to draw before I went and inked it, just because sometimes the sketching process is kind of long and you can't always see it very well on the camera, so I didn't think it would be that interesting. So I wanted to go straight in with inking. I did some swatches on the left there. I haven't used these inks, honestly, since probably the Inktober before last, because I didn't do Inktober. It was a crazy time of year for me. I was moving and there was a bunch of stuff happening, so I actually didn't do it last year. I am using the Daler Rowney inks. They are acrylic ink. Honestly, I don't know that much about ink, but that's what I'm using. And the Sketchbook is one that I got in a Scrawler box, so I'm not really sure what kind of paper it is. It seems to hold up to the ink surprisingly well. But obviously there's better sketchbooks out there. Doing something that's actually painting paper or watercolor paper would probably work even better than what this paper is doing, but honestly, for what it is, it's doing pretty well. I honestly don't remember what day this was for, but the prompt, going by the official prompt list for this one, was build, and initially I thought Legos and then sandcastles or snowmen or something like that. And then I thought, why not be a little bit more abstract, have her rebuilding her broken heart. So you can see later on, it's a little hard to see in the sketches, but you can see that there's some stitches going through her heart. And I did actually draw hands. I find that it's really easy to avoid this because they're hard. But I actually took a picture of myself in the mirror, the bathroom mirror at work, holding my phone. And so that's why her hands are posed like that, but I thought it kind of actually fit. So I took a selfie so I could kind of see how the hands worked, and I honestly really liked the way her hands turned out here. All in all, this is probably my favorite Inktober piece that I've done so far, and today is day 11. Obviously though, by the time this is uploaded, it'll be the middle or end of the month, so sorry about that, but I wanted to upload at least one Inktober video, and there will be an Inktober sketchbook tour at the very end, so probably the beginning of November, because I should be able to get through this entire sketchbook. So, enough of that. As you will have probably seen in the title of this video, it's a little bit of a story time, which is not something that I've ever done before, and I don't watch them all that much, except Emily Artful. I think hers are really fun because she does combine the art with the storytelling. So I'm gonna kind of take a page out of her book and do that here. Not that I'm trying to steal a concept at all. I typically don't have like great stories that I would want to tell anyway. But today we're going to talk about how UPS lost my Canon 70D DSLR. So if you don't know, these cameras are not cheap. I don't know what they're going for right now because there is a newer model out. You can look it up online, but it's like $1,000 or more, and the lens that I had was not a cheap lens either. The lens itself, I think you could get for quite a bit, but thankfully when I sent it in, or when I was shipping it, I did not send the lens with it. So the whole situation was that I got an error code on my camera, and I did a little bit of research, and apparently this was a common error code. It had something to do with the hardware of the camera. If you were filming videos for long periods of time, it would have issues, but it only happened with serial numbers between some number and another number. I don't remember what these numbers are, but if you have a 70D, I recommend you look it up. The Canon, if you send it to them, will actually fix it for free if this is the problem and it falls within that serial number range. So, of course, I went to go send it to Canon because I wanted a free repair. My camera wouldn't turn on at all, so it was completely not usable. So even if I had to pay money to have it fixed, I was willing to do that because I wanted a camera that I could actually use. Of course, I was relieved when I saw that my camera fell within that proper serial number range, because from what I was reading, the repair itself is a few $100s. So to be able to get this repair for free would be quite nice, but you know, even then, I suppose I could have taken that few $100s and bought a cheaper digital camera, but the cost of the repair still would have been less than the cost of the camera, so I figured I might as well go with it, hope that that's the problem, and hope that I can just get a free repair. And this was towards the end of May. I want to say I took the camera to UPS like May 30th or somewhere thereabouts. So the guy that I talked with from Canon was very, very helpful, and he was really nice, and he sent me a couple of emails. So basically I had a confirmation number and a ticket number, and I was to send my camera through UPS to their site in Virginia where it would get fixed, and when I got to them, they would call me and let me know what the problem was and how much it was going to cost, or if it would be covered under, not a warranty, there's another name for it, but anyhow, if it would be free. And he sent me an email, and there was something to print out to be used for shipping. So I went ahead and printed that out, but they also had a deal that he sent me with Canon where the UPS itself does it, but when I took it to UPS, she tried scanning that and it printed the same barcode, or at least it seemed like it was the same barcode, and I would have ended up having to pay for shipping. So instead of using that one, she used the other one that he sent me that I had printed out. I don't know if this is part of the reason my package got lost or what happened there, because honestly I don't know what the difference between the two was. He said that he would send me a shipping label, so I figured going with that shipping label would be fine. But I don't know, maybe it wasn't. And I'm just gonna say I did not feel good about leaving my camera with these people. I'm not saying that these people seemed sketchy, but I asked them to wrap the box because included in the package for Canon, I guess they have a deal with UPS, they'll package it for you and wrap it and make sure that it's, wrapped securely enough that it's not going to be damaged in the mail. And so I asked and I said, can you package this for me and send it out? And she said, yeah, that's fine. And after she had taken my camera and the shipping form and all that stuff, she just kind of like looked at me like, what are you still doing here? And I was like, oh, are you gonna package it? She's like, yeah, you're fine to go though. So I left, but maybe I should have argued about it more. But I felt weird asking to watch her package it, like I was saying that I didn't trust her, but I guess, she's a total stranger. And maybe I didn't really trust her that much. So it seemed weird, and if you've been watching my vlogs, I think I did actually record a little clip after that saying that I felt weird leaving my camera with them, and then lo and behold, it gets lost. So I'm generally a somewhat patient person, especially if it's passive patience, so sending the camera, I didn't think that I would hear back super fast. If it's something where I'm having to like stand in line for something, yeah, not as patient, but because I was just going about my day-to-day business, kind of waiting for a phone call, but not really thinking about it too much, I didn't think anything of it. But then a month had passed, and I figured I should probably hear from them at some point. So I started looking up tracking numbers for both UPS and Canon, and nothing was coming up for Canon, and all that I saw for UPS was that it had been scanned. So looking at that, all I can think is the only time it was scanned was in the building that I dropped it off on. So I made a couple phone calls, and I asked them if it had been shipped out. They said yes, and they weren't willing to go look in the back room or do anything helpful. So that wasn't very helpful, but the manager there gave me the number of someone at another warehouse. So I called him, and he said that based on what he was seeing, it looks like the only time that it was scanned was at that store, but I didn't want to call this guy again. So I actually did call him again, I think like a month later, just being like, hey, still haven't heard anything, and the guy that you told me to call says that the only time it was scanned was in your store, so maybe it's still there, but of course he was adamant that it was not. So I give it a rest. I think maybe, maybe it got lost on the way, it'll get found, someone will do something, and then in August I get a phone call from Canon, and they're asking, hey, so you called us and said you were going to send your camera, and we sent you emails, but we still haven't gotten it. So I explained to them that I was dealing with UPS, they had lost my package, and I didn't really know what to do about it. And he just kind of said, well, let me know when you've been updated or when anything happens, and I said, yep, gotcha. And at this point, it had been 3 months, so I decided to make a claim. However, this is a lot easier said than done. When you make a claim through UPS, you have to be the person shipping it. But because Canon was the one who paid for the shipping, it was under them. and you have to add the shipping code or something to your account. I don't remember exactly what, but basically I couldn't file a claim because I wasn't the person shipping. And so I was getting frustrated. There was literally no way to do it online. So I called UPS, and their number for the claims was just their generic UPS number. And when they give you that, like, robot voice, whatever, telling you to hit 1, 2, 3, etc., none of the options were anything that I wanted. So I was trying to click things that maybe would take me where I wanted. I spent a good half hour doing this, and it was driving me insane. So eventually I got annoyed and just said, I want to talk to a person. And it did actually take me to a person, which was quite nice, but I did not expect that to work. So I was glad I was finally talking to a person. I explained to her my frustrations and what I was trying to do, and eventually she and Canon were able to figure it out and get it fixed. I don't remember if I had to call Canon to put it in for me, but anyhow, it eventually got placed, but then it took a good 2 months, or, you know, maybe a month and a half or so, to actually hear anything from that. I checked the tracking number every once in a while. It just said investigation in progress, which doesn't really mean anything to me. So eventually I got a call from Canon, and they said, hey, we finally got them to approve it. We'll get stuff to you soon. A couple weeks later, they're sending me a camera. It's refurbished, which honestly isn't a big deal. I had bought my other one used off Craigslist anyway, but it's really nice because they sent me the CD, they sent me a battery, a new battery charger, they sent me the strap that goes with it, and all that stuff, which is really nice because when I sent it in, I was instructed to only send the camera and nothing else. So now I have extras, and some of this stuff I'm not going to use, but the extra battery is really nice because I kind of wanted to buy one anyway. So yeah, that's the end of the story. It's kind of frustrating dealing with it, but in the end, I got a camera. I'm happy. I got some extra stuff. It was annoying and inconvenient, but life goes on, and I think we just need to kind of roll with it sometimes and not let it get us down or frustrate it so much. Thankfully, my boyfriend's parents let me steal their camcorder, so all the videos that I've been recording in the meantime were made with that and/or my phone. So that's the end of this video. Let me know if you've had any problems getting things lost in the mail. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.